Hello and welcome to the Humble Seer. So let's talk Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson. And I'm hearing charlatans, but that's not anything shocking to anyone. But we're just going to talk about these two particular men and pull a card on each one. But I'm hearing they have devastated specifically the Black community. But anytime any community in the United States is devastated, it doesn't matter if it's the Black community, the Hispanic community, the white community, the Asian community, it doesn't matter. It all spills over. And what they have done and continue to do, but not as much of, spills over into all communities in the United States. It has an effect, a lasting negative effect. And they've been doing things to make money. It's like they work for the government, essentially. And they're just out there to, give false lies and keep negative narratives going and to incite violence and to anger people, to keep people in separation and frustration and disliking their fellow, someone of another race. It's that type of thing. They're out there to cause frustration, sadness, even anger, making people feel that, for example, making the Black community as a whole, trying to, clump them all, that they aren't capable of any kind of success, that they, which isn't true. It's all in the mind, that they shouldn't get along with their fellow man, that there shouldn't be harmony and peace. They want the opposite of harmony and peace, because that is how they get their success. This is how they make their money. It's like a negative detector. And the higher the negativity goes, as far as what they're trying to accomplish and all the things I just outlined, the more money they make. They just get money. They get money for what they do. For division, causing division and strife and frustration and anger and fighting and bickering and all of that. All right, so let's pull a card first on Al Sharpton. I put them together because, well, they're two peas in a pod. They're one and the same. They're just two different men, tasked with the same thing, and a few things that, a little different. Al Sharpton was meant to be more polarizing, I'm hearing. Okay, so let's start with Al Sharpton. Let's pull a card on him. And I don't know where we're going with this, but we're going to... Okay. So we have the Queen of Wands, which is ambitious, leader, bossy. Because that's Al Sharpton. That is his persona. He's out there being a leader, out there lying to people. I know there was a case, Tawana something, I can't think of her last name, but he was known for that, and how she was allegedly raped. I do believe it came out later that it wasn't true, but it doesn't matter. Plenty of people won't research things. I mean, see, that's the thing. When something gets out there, it sticks. It generally sticks. And, there's the media that jumps on it because it's salacious and they want to cover it and get as many clicks and views, so they'll cover it till the cows come home. If it's, if it's the saying in journalism is if it bleeds, it leads. And that could be not literally bleeding, but bleeding, as far as, you're causing people to bleed, not literally from like losing everything that they have. It's that kind of thing. That's the media journalists do that, sometimes intentionally and not sometimes intentionally. It just depends. But anyway, he was, what I'm hearing, he was that person. And I use the term leadership loosely, but in his world and the people that followed him, he was their leader. But it's not so. But I don't see him. Okay, so I don't see him paying for anything that he did, right? I don't see him going to court and all of that. No. He's just going to fade off into the sunset. And just we'll hear that he has died. It won't be in a prison cell. Okay, let's move on to Jesse Jackson. Let's pull a card on him and see what the cards want to tell us. It's enough shuffling. Just diarrhea of the mouth is what I'm hearing for Jesse Jackson. I hope I said Jesse Jackson because that's who we're doing. We just did Al Sharpton. Hopefully I didn't get the names confused. Okay. And Jesse Jackson has the 6 of Swords. All right. And the 6 of Swords is travel, movement, journey, mission, results on the horizon. And I'm just going to say that, well, he got the results that he needed. I put the card a little lower because he wasn't as powerful as Al Sharpton was. Al Sharpton really enjoyed what he did because he enjoyed making the money. Jesse Jackson, it's not that he had a conscience. He just didn't have the same amount of power that Al Sharpton did. And half the time people couldn't even understand what Jesse Jackson was saying, and that's part of the problem. And I don't say that in a joking way. You know, he's a mumbler. And, you just really always didn't even know what he was saying. So his delivery would fall flat sometimes. But irrespective, he was out there and he was the pastor, the Reverend Jesse Jackson. That's what his role was. More of the church type of thing. And we can certainly talk about the church, especially the black church we can discuss, but just churches in general. But they do operate a little differently. So, yeah, that is the men. Let's pull a final card on both of them together, what they did. And let's see if the cards want to tell us anything else about the two men combined and the damage. And they did damage. And I hear that Jesse Jackson, he wouldn't be brought up on charges or anything either. He'll just fade off, to the sunset. Okay, there's the card. All right, this card is about both of them, and we'll see what it has to say. Okay. So now we're moving into the Cups world. And we have the 7 of Cups. And the 7 of Cups is good choices, ideas, new projects, inspiration, imagination. Okay, the cards are being funny because they didn't make good choices. They made really bad choices and they did really bad things. But they believe that their choices was necessary to feed their family. Okay, so their choices weren't bad. So they still have the 7 of Cups. They think that they make good choices and they inspired people to imagine, to dream. This is what they thought, but it's really low. It's very low on the, success, because what they did was cause division and frustration and anger. That's what they did across all groups, across all communities. Everyone was affected by what they did in different ways, and in the same ways in some instances. But their damage was definitely done, and that's all there is to it. And I don't think there's anything else to say about these two characters, these two made up used to damage the community characters. That's all that they were used and good for. So I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for stopping by this Humble Seer. Please do consider liking, sharing, subscribing. Leave a comment and tell the people what you think about this. And if you like what I do, consider buying me a coffee. And the links will be in the description box below. Until next time, you take good care and we'll talk again soon. Bye.